record like 5 minutes ago, but then you just start talking about Death's Door. Which isn't in the show notes, Rudy. It's not in the show notes. We did that video already.
That's true.
Greetings and welcome to episode 268 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly news and culture discussion podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by Daffy Moody.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday. You know what that means.
And
It's new toys! New Toy Fridays, ladies and gentlemen. My new Star Trek ship is here. The Andromeda class. Look at that. Look at that sexiness. It is beautiful. It's basically the Galaxy class, but revamped and more sexy now. It's like it'll probably be able to beat the Borg properly and everything, you know, like do all the shippy things and go pew 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 and all that. Yeah, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay, I'm done.
And Fox says, do you ever get pissed off that he just never lets me introduce you?
No, actually, because then you get these funny, awkward interactions, and I fucking love them. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's just like you can't even keep it in his pants, Moody. You've had your one. You know, I can mute you. I've done it before.
I've been pretty good. I've been actually having some fun with some games as of late. Anywhere from like Mercenaries and Village, which actually I've been having a lot of fun trying to get better rankings in that. And the closed beta for Back 4 Blood, which I'm actually looking forward to now that it'll be open beta for today. I actually had a lot of fun. So I will say though, it very much screams Left 4 Dead again. Like, you know, it's Left 4 Dead, 2, 3, you know, whatever it is, the better version. But I like the different variations and I like the different mechanics. There are some things that like I would like, you know, a little bit different, but I've been having a great time. I legitimately have been having a good time. It's a good time with friends too. It really is.
Thank God. That's all I need to know. I just need to know it's good. It's good. That's it. I mean, if it's Left 4 Dead again, fine. I haven't had a new Left 4 Dead for 12 years.
At least one that does something a bit of a
it's
better
got the cards
iteration.
And stuff as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually do like that card system. I think it's pretty cool.
Sounds really good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks incredibly repetitive. I won't lie to what I've seen someone play of it. I'm just like, oh my god, this looks boring as hell.
You literally sent a message through a group chat 2 days ago saying I've got the Apex Edge. And I love Apex Legends, but that game is repetitive as shit.
Yeah. So?
Left 4 Dead is always very much core, or like their whole core is around that repetitive, like doing the same thing. But that's why the card system's in there now, and it does add a bit of a variation to where like I wouldn't say it completely changes like, you know, your play style, but sometimes you actually do have to do things that's a bit differently than you normally would. And I do and I do like kind of that because it kind of reminds me of a roguelite system in a way, you know.
Okay. Roguelite.
I'm going to give it a try with you. I can't wait to give it a try to see what all the fuss is about, because I never played Left 4 Dead. It was already gone past like before I got back into games years ago, and everything that thing gone and past for me. So I was just like, I never got it, never understood it. I was like, all right, okay. So I'm intrigued. Like, yeah, if we have fun,
we'll have fun.
Thumbs up from it.
Think about
if it isn't, then I'll just be like, I'm out. Sorry guys, bye.
The thing about multiplayer games is they're usually fun even if the games aren't great. It's only when the games are terrible that they're not fun, right?
You keep getting booted out of the game, keep getting stuck in shit. You can't get past like a certain menu.
Or you're playing Fortnite.
You're playing exactly. Or you're playing Fortnite, and you know, it just sucks all the fun out, and you can't enjoy it with each other.
Yeah, I also just want to repeat for the people listeners, I have not played it. I'm only going off what I've seen of it.
Well, yeah.
I don't want anyone to say, well, you don't know nothing type of thing. I'm thinking, I didn't say I played it. I'm just saying I watched someone play it. It's a difference.
No, it was an open beta that you couldn't get into unless you pre-ordered the game, where you got a drop on Twitch.
Or
it's not an open beta. The second open beta
at all.
And just signed up for it, and somehow they just gave it to you anyway.
Yeah, but the game went gold today, so that's not a beta.
Yeah.
That's not a
Oh
beta.
yeah, true.
That's a demo,
Sure.
guys. That's a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Your game is gold. It's a demo. You can't
They-
play it. Test
they're-
your game if you finish your game.
Until it's still a month and a half until it fully comes out. 2 months,
They're-
really.
They're very much also owning more of their brand too, which I actually very much like that because it's like, I mean, sure, obviously there's too many companies who be like, oh yeah, you know, we're referencing our older games or whatnot, but they put so many references of turtles in the game because Turtle Rock Studios, and it's like, good on you for like actually like just running with your brand and actually showing people who you are, because in all honesty, a lot of people probably forgot who the fuck Turtle Rock Studios were until somebody said, "Oh, we were the original people who did the first Left 4 Dead." They're like, "Oh, we know you."
Yeah, I played Left 4 Dead. I remember shooting
Yep.
those zombies.
I
got the-
played Left 4 Dead. I played Evolve, which no one remembers, and I'm playing Back 4 Blood.
I played Evolve. Sorry, flashbacks for a second there.
Yeah, some.
There was a good
depressing
idea
times.
in there somewhere.
It really, there really was. God damn it! That's what makes it sad too.
I know. That one game I played at EGX was amazing.
They had such cool monster designs and such cool like abilities. They're so cool.
It was,
Sorry.
but not a great game. This week, I haven't got a blurb. You guys know the drill. You've seen the title of the podcast. You've seen the thumbnail. You know, it's just week 4. It's the 4th podcast in a row. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube and also wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to them via audio, words are hard, guys. I just did a Dark Souls 3 retrospective. I used up all my words. You can get the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a few that I've never heard of. Apparently, iHeartRadio is a big deal. I didn't know that. Go figure.
Really? Is it like I heard like quite a few years ago it was, but
Yeah,
it
like-
still is. Wow.
They have like exclusive stuff on there and stuff. Like, I learned this week. Just gone.
Interesting.
So I was like, it must be like a big deal, right? Like, saying that though, exclusives on your audio platforms aren't necessarily indicative of good quality. Spotify has an exclusive with Joe Rogan. I wouldn't exactly call that good. Before we do this, because we got a lot of Blizzard, Activision Blizzard stories. Look, wholesome games. I don't know if I wore this on the podcast or if it was just on that review video. Wholesome games.
A great t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good t-shirt.
I love wholesome
Nice and colourful.
kids. I didn't have to pay any extra to get it shipped from America, so
That's awesome.
that was good. I mean, we can't get food on the shelves in the UK at the moment, but I didn't have to pay extra taxes on my
You can get a
t-shirt.
shirt. You can get a t-shirt, yeah. Can't get food, but you can get a t-shirt.
Let's start. Report. Morhaime, other Blizzard execs were informed of rampant misconduct. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, multiple new reports provided another look into the allegedly toxic studio culture within Activision Blizzard, as Bloomberg and the Washington Post both published pieces incorporating interviews with former and current employees of the company's Blizzard division. As reported by Bloomberg, an assistant of Blizzard co-founder and former CEO Michael Morhaime claimed to have informed him as well as other senior leadership about rampant misconduct that went on within the company. Morhaime had departed the publisher in 2018 after serving as CEO for 28 years. The Bloomberg report also presents a shift in the company culture as it gained more popularity to the point where its developers were being seen as rock stars. Quote, these developers were untouchable. Not only could they tell you how to do your job, but they had so much power they could do whatever they want in line of sight with their other powerful friends, former employee Christina Mikkonen told the site. The Post sources appear to back that up, with one former longtime Blizzard employee saying, quote, in my experience, you just stopped going to HR. They were almost like a gang that would ruin your career if you reported certain individuals, end quote. A source recalled a conversation at Bloomberg where an executive expressed to staff that young women who were fans or worked at the company see them as superstars and, quote, why shouldn't they benefit sexually from that, end quote. The report also noted senior Blizzard execs Morhaime, founder Frank Pierce, and former president Jalen Brack all married women in less senior roles at the company. This set an uncomfortable precedent for some of the female staff, a source told Bloomberg, as it led to unwanted sexual advances at work. The power dynamics at the company were also reportedly present in the gender pay disparities that female employees experience, Bloomberg said. Former staff said they had lower salaries than their male co-workers who had similar work experience. A source shared a screenshot of a manager telling her that pay discussions among staff were prohibited. The California Equal Pay Act of 2015 made it illegal for employers to prohibit workers from discussing their pay with each other. An Activision Blizzard spokesperson told Bloomberg that the company, quote, strives to pay all employees equitably for equal work, end quote. And then there's another quote from a spokesperson talking to the Washington Post that says, quote, we take every allegation seriously and will investigate all claims. We will not tolerate anyone found to have impeded the integrity of our processes for evaluating claims and imposing appropriate consequences. If employees have any concerns about how human resources handled claims, including those related to retaliation, we have other reporting options, including anonymous ones, end quote. I feel like I've read that. I feel like they've sent that statement out before. I feel like I've read that verbatim before. More details, yay!
More details of the reports that everyone else is now no longer talking about or makes terrible excuses not to talk about and everything like that. But I'm proud to say right now I'm with a team who will continue to talk about this terrible work culture that Blizzard, Activision, and any other fucking company decides to do. This is terrible. This is disgusting. Go fuck themselves. I hope they are all sacked if they are still there, and if they are in other places, I hope they all get sacked from those places. These people should be ashamed of themselves. No one should be felt uncomfortable or get sexual advances, especially when they are definitely and severely unwanted. Ah, fuck Activision Blizzard.
That sigh summed up a lot of feeling, I think, for me. Yeah. Anything to add, Foxes?
When you start confusing people with anything more than they're actually worth, you already made the mistake of, like, believing that that's a possibility. And so seeing people as rock stars isn't something that should be, like, lack of a better term, kind of accepted, because you're just humans, you're just people at the end of the day. And if you don't think that there isn't some possibility of that fucking rock star that you are praising so much could be an ugly piece of shit, then you should probably direct your attention elsewhere.
Never meet your heroes.
Sorry?
Never meet your heroes. Sorry there, Foxes.
Every once in a rare blue moon, there's someone out there who's actually a hero who has a good enough heart that they're just through and through. They're just an open book, and they will tell you everything about themselves. And whether it's something that you agree with or not, you can at least say, hey, that person can at least be down to earth with me and is an actual hero to either me and or someone else. And there's even good standing there. When you meet a hero who doesn't want to talk about themselves, who always wants to get, the party on, or, has some other definitely alternate agenda, then yeah, I wouldn't call that a hero. But, like you said, never meet your heroes. So you never know who they really are sometimes. But it's all very disappointing and really fucking disgusting.
Yep. Sure is. Like,
yep.
The games industry does this with people. Like, I mean, there's a lot, like, you can name a lot of Blizzard employees, like the senior stuff, like Mike Morhaime, for example. If you've been around and paid attention to Blizzard for long enough, but like the games industry does this with people all the time, like Hideo Kojima or Cliff Bleszinski. Like there's names of game designers and game developers that you just know. Like if you've been around long enough, I just say a name and you go, oh yeah, that guy. But like, I don't know, maybe we should stop elevating individual people above the massive teams that it takes to make games, like Death Stranding, a Hideo Kojima game, and also the other several hundred people who also made Death Stranding, right? And that's not, I'm not calling out Kojima. That was just a name that popped into my head.
No, yeah. I mean, like, you know, let's be honest with you. Marketing teams all too often will be like, this next game presented to you and written and directed by Cliff Bleszinski or whoever the fuck. It's like, what about the team that was a part of it? Why not say I'm just gonna make up some random word, Shark Eater, Productions or whatever the fuck, and it's just like, oh, good, you're acknowledging the entire production team. Good. No, I mean, yeah, like don't get me wrong. There's all too many times where, like, the individual is the rock star of the production team, and sometimes it's twofold where you can't acknowledge them without, like, you can't acknowledge one without the other. Like Kojima Productions, it has his name in it, and it's just like, well, who's Kojima? And then you're gonna point to the rock star,
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima, and then it's like, oh, but it's Kojima Productions, so he has a whole entire team behind him. Exactly. That's what we should be,
Exactly.
being thankful to. But no, yeah, like we do kind of for a while kind of elevate them to rock stars, and for a while there, I was doing it when I was younger, and then after a while, like, it was just kind of like, all right, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still very much am a big, like I ingest a lot of Kojima's media, but like, for the most part, he's one of the very few people that, like, I still, like, look to him and his production team to actually, like, do something like that. There aren't too many left anymore that I'd be like, yeah, you're a rock star and like this sort of thing, because I try to put no one on that kind of pedestal anymore. I will say one thing: Tim Schafer is doing a really good job of actually trying to put himself on that type of pedestal, to be honest with you. And if there's anybody who actually does good work ethic and who might actually deserve to be up on a pedestal, maybe him.
Yeah.
But you got to earn that.
Yeah. Like, as a spokesperson, or like a person, like, we talk about Phil Spencer a lot. Like, we talk about Phil Spencer so much in this podcast, I just say the word Phil and everybody knows who I'm talking about, even though me and Moody have a friend called Phil. But I can say Phil and Moody knows I'm not talking about that Phil. And like, there are people who like who say like meaningful things, who, like, they lead, right? And then there's people that we put up there, and the people that we put up there, maybe we should stop doing that, because you say you did it when you were a kid, Foxes, and I mean, I did it until very recently with, like, studio heads and people that are, like, put out in front of the cameras, so to speak, like things like E3s and in documentaries and whatnot, and like, there's cool stuff to be done. Like, I love watching no-clip documentaries and seeing the people all talking about, like, they just put out a new one for Thief, The Dark Age, and I've been watching that, and I've enjoyed watching. There's a lot of quote-unquote rock stars in that from Looking Glass Studios, right? People like Warren Spector just turn up because Ken Levine, because they just worked on this game. But like, they're very talented, and I would never take that talent away from them. But also, like, so are all the people that you've never heard of who did the work and put the work in. And the danger is when we elevate people in this industry to like this rock star status, like, there's a danger that they can start believing their own hype, and then situations can unfold like at Activision Blizzard, where it creates an entire it creates an entire culture which is unsafe for the people who aren't rock stars, or the friends of rock stars, the pals, the buddies, the Crosby suite people, like, it can create a very dangerous and horrible environment for a lot of people. And, like, maybe we should stop doing that. Maybe. Also, sharkeaterproductions.com is available. Should we take that?
You know what? For some reason, Shark was in my head, and I was like, what do I, like, not Shark Tales or, like, Shark Week. Like, that's all. What do I do,
Sharkeaterproductions.com, 99p for the first year.
Let's do it. Shark Eater.
Changing the name of the podcast, everybody. We're now Shark Eater Productions. Moody, stop building the game.
Wait, what? I'm a QA guy. Go away.
You're the game person.
I break the game, not make it.
I'm PR, and this time I'll actually do actual PR.
Amy, you're HR.
Really.
Everyone's fired then. If Amy's HR, we're all fired.
I don't want that responsibility, man. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. Diablo 4 director, lead level designer, and WoW designer depart Blizzard. This is from Jonathan Balding over at PC Gamer, who writes, Diablo 4 game director Louis Barriga, I believe, lead level designer Jesse McCree, and World of Warcraft designer Jonathan LeCraft are all out at Blizzard Entertainment. The news was first reported by Kotaku and then confirmed by Activision Blizzard. Quote, we can confirm Louis Barriga, Jesse McCree, and Jonathan LeCraft are no longer with the company. We have a deep, talented roster of developers already in place, and new leaders have been assigned where appropriate. We are confident in our ability to continue progress, deliver amazing experiences to all our players, and move forward to ensure a safe, productive work environment for all. End quote. A source at Blizzard also told PC Gamer that the senior developers are no longer in Blizzard's internal employee directory. That's a recap. Luis Barriga was game director on Diablo 4 and has been with Blizzard for at least 15 years. He was previously a quest and systems designer and a lead game designer on World of Warcraft. He was involved in a bunch of expansions in Diablo 3. Jesse McCree was a lead level designer at Blizzard, working on Diablo 3 and multiple World of Warcraft expansions. McCree had been employed since December 2005 and is apparently the namesake of Overwatch character Jesse McCree, and his involvement in the Cosby Suite group chats documented by Kotaku led some Overwatch fans to ask the name of the character be changed. McCree also has at least 5 characters in World of Warcraft named after himself. Jonathan LeCraft had worked at Blizzard since 2005 as well, serving as a senior game designer for World of Warcraft, and that's all he's done. There we go.
Great that these people out, but this is just the same as the guy who left last week. These are sacrificial lambs, and we know that.
Yeah.
It's just
Shit,
like
we fired Brack and it didn't work.
You're the ones who put the industry who put a face on. And you're douchebags, so we're going to get rid of you. Or we're going to say we get rid of you, but don't worry, we'll keep giving you money or something. Something like that.
6 months from now, when we need a new Warcraft expansion, you'll be back. No,
yeah,
it is. It's like just with Jalen Brack and Jesse Mashik last week. It's like shit, that didn't work. Okay, more people. Who else do we know? Well, there's that one guy everybody remembers because he's named after an Overwatch character is named after him. Yeah, we'll get rid of him. He was in the Cosby Suites. And it's like, okay, let's get rid of a couple other people. Did that work? Apparently it is. It's working. Apparently, as we alluded to in the previous story, people are getting bored now. It's been 4 weeks. 3 weeks. Whatever. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Let's talk about
Call of Duty's getting revealed next week, so everyone's going to lose interest next week.
It's literally what I was about to bring up. I was like, let's talk about like our next expansion and what we're going to be adding and all the patches and stuff like that. Let's drive your attention somewhere else because we can't keep talking about these people that we're keeping at our company.
That's basically what I tweeted out when I saw the report. I was literally saying, look, oh, shiny thing, shiny, look at the shiny thing, and all like that. Forget about let's change it out and let's show off a new shiny thing, an old but shiny thing still.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically what they're doing.
Bobby Kotick said he's going to sort it. 5 people who have lost their jobs. That's got to be enough, right? That's the whole culture change to Activision Blizzard now, right?
Give him. I'm not even going to say the bloody words. I'm going to say finally give him respect, but I'm not. The hell that these are going to feel dirty. I might have thrown up if I continued with the sentence implying to give him respect. Yeah, I'll say what I said last week. You cannot ask a person who oversaw these company, the Activision Blizzard, who was the CEO, because there's 2 things here. He's either knew about the bugger, that makes him a terrible CEO, and he needs to be seriously sacked as fast as possible, or he didn't know about these things, and that just makes him incredibly negligent against his job, because it just makes just shows how useless he was at his job, because he just completely ignored everything. And the people below him, if they didn't know either, then they should be sacked because they just show the same thing as him, and the vice versa with the people under those bloody idiots as well. Yeah, They need to. We all know where it needs to start. We all know it's not going to do anything. We all know they're not going to do this because he brings in too much money and everything. And the stock will go back up next week when they reveal the old but shiny thing next week and everything. But who cares? Who cares, ladies and gentlemen? Who cares about a crappy work culture at the games industry or anything like that? Let's not talk about this anymore. Oh, fuck you, you useless twats. We're going to talk about this. I am angry because I've spoken to a friend of mine who will not talk about this on his podcast anymore. I am annoyed. This is stupid and impossible. You cannot do this. This hurts people's lives. You got a QA team who literally work 70 hours and get paid nout. You got staff who barely get paid, who have to choose between rent or fucking food. And you, Bobby Kotick, take home hundreds of $1 million a year. And you didn't know anything, or you did. Either way, you should be gone. All of them should be gone. I am sick of this narrative of the useless twats who continue in their jobs. Fuck all of them. Burn them down. Sorry for shouting really loud there.
It's fine. You got the thing into the red. Normally that's my job.
Thought I might have there.
So Foxes, before the podcast, when you were saying, "Oh man, I don't want to get mad because then I'll be," don't worry about it. We've got it covered. You can go for it. It's fine. Everything you just said is spot on. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Very much. Wow.
You ripped the words right out of my mouth.
That's the energy. Like,
say this on this podcast right now. Any content creator I continue to watch who says they won't report on this, guess what? You're not getting a fucking view on me. And if I give you money on Patreon, I'll say this right now. You're not going to get my fucking money. I am sick of this. You arrogant little bastards. The lot of yous. Just so you can get your codes. Just so you can get your little gifts and everything like that. Fuck you if you're going to be like this. Fuck you. You do not deserve this. You do not deserve any of this. You do not work on this industry. You do not. You're a reporter, basically. You do not build the games. You should be ashamed of yourself, the lot of you who do not report on this. At all.
Yeah, I agree. I do. Like, there's you can have the back and forth about the whole boycott of, or like, like not covering Activision Blizzard games or covering them, and like in terms of like how that supports employees and how that supports shareholders and investors and stuff like that. But to like stop talking about this altogether is a line that shouldn't be crossed, because at the end of the day, you're useless. And Moody, you hit a point, a nail on the head, so completely with like you put words to something I've wanted to try and put words to, with you don't work for the games industry, guys. If you're a content creator, guess what? You're not in the games industry. That's not the games industry.
But Amy, if we talk about something that we love so much, we're entitled to it, and we're also a part of it, no matter what we do. Even as many times as we like to say, I love this, and as much as I want to take everyone's money, I'm a part of it. You can't take that away from me, Amy.
I mean, I can't. No, you're right, Foxes. I can't take that away from you. Do you want to know why? Because you never had it in the first place.
Never fucking mine in the first place. Never actually a part of it. Yeah. You just get to witness it.
At the end of the day, if you're someone who is taking codes and taking sponsorships and taking opportunities as a content creator from a company like Activision Blizzard without critically examining the workplace practices which have abused so many people, which caused, sorry to bring this up again, which caused a woman to commit suicide, you're not a content creator anymore. You're not a journalist. You're not whatever. You are marketing, and that's all you are. And that still doesn't make you a part of the games industry. That just makes you a shill and an idiot, but a useful idiot.
Fox.
I wonder why we're not popular with other content creators.
Fuck them.
Fuck
I don't
'em.
give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like, I have my friends who stream and I have my friends who make content, and anybody else, I'm not really that bothered. Like, that's it. I don't care. But yeah, no, thank you, Mooney. You said a lot of things very well there.
Agreed. Here.
Here. I lost my place. Hold on. Here we are. Yeah.
Investors.
Yeah, investors. Actually, I'm going to save it. I was going to say something, and I'm going to save it for after this story. Activision Blizzard investor says publishers' promises are inadequate. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, SOC Investment Group has said that Activision Blizzard's promises to improve its company culture aren't enough. As reported by Axios, the shareholder has allegedly criticized the actions the publisher has taken in response to a California Department of Fair Employment and Housing lawsuit. Associate Executive Director Dieter Weisenegger took exception to Activision Blizzard's response in a letter to the company's lead independent board member, Robert Morgado. Quote, while we appreciate the improved tone and increased detail in CEO Bobby Kotick's recent letter to Activision Blizzard employees, customers, and shareholders, the changes Mr. Kotick has announced do not go nearly far enough to address the deep and widespread issues with equity, inclusion, and human capital management at the company. End quote. He noted Activision Blizzard provided no updates as to how it will fill its leadership roles and how executive pay will be made more equitable. Weisenegger also criticized the publisher's decision to hire law office Wilma Hale. Quote, this firm has a sterling reputation as a defender of the wealthy and connected, but it has no track record of uncovering wrongdoing. The lead investigator does not have an in-depth experience investigating workplace harassment and abuse, and the scope of the investigation fails to address the full range of equity issues Mr. Kotick acknowledges. End quote. I'm glad somebody on the investor board said it. Like... That's as surprising as it is kind of welcome. Like, I'm sure Mr. And you know what? If this is untrue, I apologize, but you've got a lot of money and you don't care. I'm sure Dieter Weisenegger's entire motivation is money as far as this is concerned, but I mean, I'll take it. Right? I'll take anything I can get.
They took a whack when this all dropped and everything. We know this. They know this. And this is why Kotick's probably trying to force out the reveal for Call of Duty next week and everything like that, so you can get the stock back up, because we know it's going to go back up. We know this when they drop that trailer, like we've already spoke about. But no, this was basically why I thought when we talked about this type of thing last week, but this was a completely different thing. But this is basically what I thought last week, and we know. It's all about money. We know this, but at the end of the day, with what I said last time, basically, I still stand by it. It still needs to be burnt down either way. But it's better and nothing. At least someone who is Bobby Kotick's boss is trying something here. Because at the end of the day, he's part of the board. He's above old Bobby, old boy.
What
and everything like that. So.
What Weisenegger is saying here is essentially the same thing we talked about last week, which was the response of the group. Oh, damn it, I can't remember that. Better Activision Blizzard? ABK?
I think so.
Yeah. Talked about after the walkout, because the walkout had demands, and Kotick, and they had like their quarterly investment call, and none of the demands were referenced.
Yeah.
And this essentially the shareholder here, Dieter Weisenegger, is saying the same thing that ABK said, which was, you didn't actually say all that much. You didn't actually put forward a plan. Like, you can't just like cover it in platitudes and say, oh, we're going to make it better. How are you going to make it better? How are you going to make it better in the short term? How are you going to make it better in the long term? You need to have a plan. If you're just covering it in platitudes, guess what? Ubisoft pulled that shit a year ago. And we've heard from Ubisoft employees in the past few weeks that changed very little. Again, we can take clips from the podcasts from last year when we were talking about Ubisoft, and we could just put them here. And I could just dub over every time we say Ubisoft, going Activision Blizzard, and it would change nothing.
Yeah.
Apart from a couple of names and locations. Like,
yeah. Bobby Kotick and his team are literally trying to do what a certain royal family member is trying to do right now, is by sticking their head in the sand and hoping that this goes away. And this is why that's why I got so annoyed and angry in the last part, is that we are seeing this go away. That's the thing about it, and that's the annoying thing. That's the upsetting thing. We don't want to see this go away. This is the only way. If this doesn't go away, that's the only way the things will improve for the developers and the staff at Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft and every other terrible company that has terrible work culture. And that's the thing about it. Hopefully, I'm not even going to attempt to say his name because I will butcher it like crazy.
Weisenegger.
Yeah, I can literally think I would say it worse somehow. But yeah, like everything says, like, why the hell would you pick Wilmer Hell as your people to fight these guys? The guys who are literally the law firm who literally fights against unionization.
You picked them for a
That
reason.
tells you everything. That tells you everything what Activision are doing. We know what Bobby Kotick's trying here. We know he is. He'll say if he's thrown out a thing that took him 4 days to throw out after all these accusations came out, because obviously he must have buggered off,
Which was
a nice holiday weekend.
Two things prompted that. Number one, well, actually, one thing prompted it. Number one, the share price went down. That's when Kotick spoke out. And you'll notice Kotick's statement was a complete change in tone. Because it had to be, because the share price went down. Like, that's the only thing that's prompted Bobby Kotick to even mention this. This probably wasn't on Bobby Kotick's radar for 4 days until he woke up to 100 voicemails from shareholders going, why have I just lost a lot of money?
Yeah. That's the thing. Bobby Kotick's job is to make sure that the shares and all like that are in good nick and everything. And if they go down, that's a terrible thing for the company and everything like that. But this is the thing, like, there's no doubt about what we said. Like, this man is literally doing it for money. We know this, but hopefully, for at least coming out and saying all these things, it will try and force some things through and everything like that. That's what I'm hoping for. Will it? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Like I said, next week this will all be bloody blown over and everything.
Call of Duty, like the to like piggyback off, because you were talking about people are starting to stop talking about this. Like, this is the thing. Like, at the center of this, there's only one thing that should be at the center of this, right? Like, we've seen people talking about this. People have talked about it for clout. People have talked about it for views. People have talked about it for money. Like, as soon as like the views start going down and the clout starts going down, people will abandon this. Like, talking about this. Like, luckily we don't have any views, so we don't have to worry about people abandoning us for views. But the only thing that should be at the center of this, if you want to actually talk about it and you want to fight this, is there are human beings who work at Activision Blizzard and any other company where this goes on who deserve better. And if you can either agitate for change or you can fuck off. That's where I'm at, personally. Like, if you're talking about this for any other reason than to try and make things better for the people who work at Activision Blizzard, I'd go leave me alone. Unsubscribe, block me. I don't care. Fuck off. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you on my channel. That's the only reason I'm going to keep talking. I keep talking about this, and I'm going to keep talking about this, and I'm going to keep talking about this, is because I want to try my best to make things better for the human beings who make the video games that I like, love. I'll keep doing it. Best as I can. Moody, you blew me away so much when we were talking in the last part that it took me that entire 10 20 minutes to formulate my response to what you said. But I sorted it out in my head, so it's fine. Foxes, we don't think we've let you talk yet in this entire news story section, so I don't know if there's anything you want to add to any of that.
I'll mute myself so I don't talk.
No, you're perfectly fine. I think actually it kind of piggybacks off of you perfectly, Amy, because like Moody started it, you carried it, and now I'm gonna finish. To this person, thank you for. Because, yes, while this was totally utter choice because of motivation, because of your money, or if you're actually realizing some of this is fucked up and I'm a part of it and I want this better, so betterment for humanity. Thank you. On you. Either way, you're wanting to bring attention to this. I'll give you that thanks and I'll give you that kudo. Here's the thing where I want to continue it, though. All the people out there, or whomever is listening, you have to keep continuing putting pressure on this. You have to not only hurt them in their wallet by not playing their game, not taking their codes, not buying their fucking merchandise, not wanting to report on this. You have to keep putting pressure, because then people like this will continue to be like, hey, whether it is solely a total motivation for money, it will make changes because it literally bothers the fuck out of them, and more often than not, kind of because of money. But it's forcing a change. And to be honest with you, I do hope that if enough pressure is put, that when they decide to say, hey, little sparkly over here, I want you to look at this Call of Duty, I want you to look at this new Overwatch, I want you to look at this new Diablo. Fuck them. You have to continue putting pressure on this to make actual change. Because people like this, who are above them, who maybe not, may or may not be, the best forward or not, who knows? I don't really know myself, but it will force change into hopefully a better working environment, into better cohesion with all of it. And for all we know, maybe the people who are running all of it like, no, we definitely want the best out of this because we want our money to continue. And so therefore that means good working conditions, good, good people, good, so on and so forth. And so let's continue have our good money flowing. Maybe that's a motivation for them, maybe it's not. Who knows? But pressure to force change.
Pressure to force change. I like that. I like that. I think you are muted though, Moody.
Yeah.
I forgot to mute myself.
Gotcha.
That's the only way the things will change.
Speaking of things not changing, under fire Activision Blizzard exec Frances Townsend steps down from company's women's network. This is from Wesley and Poole over at Eurogamer. He writes the headline and then says, Townsend stepped down from the position of executive sponsor of Activision Blizzard King Women's Network on the 23rd of July, the company confirmed with the Washington Post. That's the same day Townsend held a listening session on a recorded Zoom call with the women at Blizzard to hear their stories following a heavily criticized internal email that called the claims made by the state of California's discrimination lawsuit, quote, a distorted and untrue picture of our company, end quote. Townsend remains at Activision Blizzard as Chief Compliance Officer. Activision Blizzard's initial public comment on the lawsuit was to strongly deny its claims. An email then sent to staff by Townsend, who was Assistant for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism at George W. Bush from 2004 to 2008, was heavily criticized by staff.
Why has she not been fired yet? Why?
We know why. I mean, we know why.
But yeah, why? Why has she not been fired yet? Jesus, like, why was she even hired? It makes logical sense. We know why. But yeah, why is this person not being fired yet? Like, seriously. Like, if you bring her out in anything, like onto a game floor show or whatever like that, she is going to. I don't care who they are. They're going to be booing her like crazy.
She'll never be in front of people. She'll never be in front of the camera. So
probably not. Yeah. So that's always why. But no, yeah. It's just madness. Absolutely mad. Especially Bobby. Yet you criticized it, but that's just you said. Oh, on the outside, I'm saying I'm criticizing, but on the inside, I think you're truly right. I mean, so don't worry, Frances. I have your back.
Don't worry, Frances. Like, my statement was the complete polar opposite to your internal statement, but it's fine. We're clearly still on the same page because my external statement was allegedly a lie. See what I did there, Keith? Yeah.
Allegedly a lie.
But yeah, like Frances Townsend's the chief compliance officer, so you're never going to see her at like E3 or in a. I mean, the direct Activision Blizzard. Could you imagine? Activision Blizzard Direct. You're never going to see it at like BlizzCon or anything like that. Props to James Stephanie Sterling for coining Francis I love waterboarding Townsend, though. I pissed myself laughing when I was watching that part.
That was a great episode, I won't lie, but I just want to shout out the one I got. Skill Up as well. He put out a video as well talking about it and like basically blasts her brilliantly. I can't quote it or anything like that, but he does a brilliant job. So definitely go and check out his latest video because he does a cracking job.
cool. I guess not much really needs to be said. She
Nope.
still has a job. Crazy, right? I'm eating a chocolate covered peanut. I'm trying to do it quietly. I'm hoping someone's going to pick up. I'm hoping someone's going to pick. Well, because I'm the one talking. I'm hoping someone's going to pick the sentence up.
I'm talking now. Keep going. I'll talk. Go, 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 go. Yada 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 yada. Blah blah blah.
That's not talking.
Not at all.
It's made it down and let's try it up. Let's up it all up. Yeah, let's go. Pew 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 pew.
You used to be a
pew,
podcast host.
Let's go beyond plus ultra style.
I don't know what that.
Huh?
Speaking of plus ultra, because apparently words mean nothing. Kellogg's pulls Overwatch sponsorship over troubling Blizzard allegations. This is from Michael McGuire over at Polygon. I've finished the peanut now. He writes, another sponsor has pulled this endorsement from Activision Blizzard's Overwatch League. On Friday, the Kellogg company confirmed that it will not be moving forward with Overwatch League partnership programs this year. The move is Kellogg's response to allegations of gender-based discrimination and sexual harassment at Overwatch publisher and developer Blizzard Entertainment. Quote, we find these allegations troubling and inconsistent with our commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion. While Activision Blizzard has announced plans to address the challenging issues it faces, we will not be moving forward with any new programs this year, but will continue to review progress made against their plans, end quote. That was a Kellogg spokesperson, Chris Banner. The Kellogg Company and the Overwatch League announced a multi-year partnership in 2019, agreeing to multiple activations through 2021, including co-branded packaging, sweepstakes, and merchandise. That partnership included packaging for Kellogg's products, including Cheez-It Grooves and Pringles Wavy, featuring Overwatch League branding and Overwatch character images. Kellogg's also manufactured Overwatch Lucy O's cereal in 2018. As of Friday, logos for Cheez-It Grooves and Pringles Wavy have been removed from the Overwatch League's partners page. Kellogg's decision to distance itself from the Overwatch League follows similar moves from other league sponsors T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, and State Farm on Thursday. State Farm told the Washington Post that, quote, it was reevaluating its limited marketing relationship with the Overwatch League, end quote. Coca-Cola likewise said it was, quote, taking a step back for a moment to revisit future plans and programs, end quote. I used to watch the Overwatch League quite a lot when it first started, and the Overwatch World Cup before that, and like literally, like you could never get away from the like Kellogg's. I think Kellogg's signed up after like I stopped watching, but like you could like every fucking 20 minutes it was like the Overwatch League is brought to you by State Farm and Coca-Cola and T-Mobile. So like when I heard all of them had pulled out of the Overwatch League sponsorship, I was like, oh shit, like that's pretty significant.
This is pretty significant. Sorry, Fox. You go first, mate. You have spoken a lot. You go.
No, you're good. No, I was just gonna comment that I remember those like clapping sticks that actually had like the little Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I remember
like,
the Coca-Cola clapping sticks. Yeah.
Or like T-Mobile or Color or whatever the fuck that had Overwatch League stuff on them. I was just saying, yeah, I watched very little of it, but I do remember them quite basically pushing sponsorships as much as possible. Which, to be honest with you, what esports kind of league kind of doesn't these days at this point because marketing. But no, I definitely remember it. Sorry, go ahead, maybe Moody.
No, you've barely spoken. Let's let you go. No, this is how you hurt them. This is how you hurt the company. You take the sponsorship status that brings in millions of dollars for them. That gives them a lot of bloody money. And this is how you hurt them. And I'm really happy to hear these things are happening and everything like that. This is the only way that, again, this is how you hurt them. You hurt them with the dollar value because this is the only way they're going to learn. This is the only way they're going to change things because they will continue to do these things and everything like that. So I'm really happy to see this. Personally.
Yeah, and like I say, like these companies were all over the Overwatch League. Like you couldn't, even as someone in the UK, right? Like watching in the UK, like State Farm is not a thing. But I still know all about State Farm because I watched the Overwatch League for like 2 years. Like, so I was like, State Farm, T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, State Farm, T-Mobile, Coca-Cola, State Farm, T-Mobile. You know what I mean? Like, it's like watching hockey. The NHL hockey, like in Subway, was just always.
It's always Subway.
It's always Subway. Like it's just like, so this is good because Like, this is what you need. You need like people who are bigger than us with like we're very loud, but like no one cares what we think. But like this is money to them, so pressure.
Yeah. The other thing is for me that we barely have T-Mobile over here. I'm amazed it's still a thing.
Me too. Sometimes even being over here.
No, it was huge over here for
Was
like for
huge
us.
for a while.
Yeah, it was huge for a while. Then I think they got bought out by Orange, and then I think Orange for us got bought out by EE. And I think now EE are kind of like bought by BT or collaborating in some sort of way now.
EE was like a thing where it was like two companies merged into one, and then
I
they
think
became
so.
EE.
Maybe. Yeah.
And
There's something like that. No, but yeah, like T-Mobile is like basically non-existent over here anymore.
that was Orange.
So when you can see an advert, I'm just like, wait, what? You're still going?
The Overwatch League, sponsored by T-Mobile. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I knew it still existed.
Americans, you'll never get rid of it, please.
They tried to bring Best Buy over here once. I remember that was a thing.
I know.
They opened a bunch of Best Buys in the UK and it just didn't happen. They're all gone now. Apex Legends developer fired after offensive blog surfaced. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer. He writes, Apex Legends lead game designer Daniel Klein has been fired from developer Respawn after offensive blog posts written by him were recently surfaced. Klein has apologized unreservedly for the sexist and racist language in the posts, which he says were written in 2007. Quote, I was recently confronted with some awful statements made on a blog I wrote back in 2007, Klein wrote on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. I take full ownership for the things I said, and I'm embarrassed, sad, and angry at my younger self for saying this stuff. I hope it is obvious that I don't believe these things anymore. End quote. While the posts date back to over a decade ago, a video by Apex Legends content creator Thordan Smash Video claims Klein was aged 27 at the time. Klein is well known among the Apex Legends community for his focus on in-game balance issues. He would regularly interact with fans and comment on balance changes, and sometimes clash with players over alterations to particular characters or abilities. Last night, Klein confirmed he was now no longer working at Respawn and had been fired at the end of last week. Quote, you may or may not have seen the awful bigoted things I said in 2007. I wholeheartedly agree that guy should have been fired. I have poured so much energy into becoming a better person since then, and right now I'm just very depressed because it feels I'll never be able to make up for who I was. I said racist and sexist things, not because I deeply believed any of them, but because I knew I could get a reaction out of people. That does not excuse anything I said. The impact of my words was the same regardless of what I believed. Lastly, I'm just truly sorry to the Apex team. This is a headache they did not need. I know what their future plans are, and I absolutely believe Apex has a bright future. There's so much cool shit coming. I just wished I could have worked on it. End quote.
Don't say dumb shit. Whatever age you were, 2007 or 27-year-old, I don't really care. Don't say dumb shit. I don't really care.
Yeah, like if you're 6, if you're like 7 years old, you get a pass. Because you probably don't know any better. You're a dumb kid. If you're 27 years old, I mean, it's a bit dicier, especially, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, if you are honestly, truthfully, wholeheartedly apologetic for all this thing, that's fantastic, and I do implore you for that and everything. But you've also said you've said some incredibly terrible crap. So same things like with like when I said with like I'll go back to like when I on my own podcast with James Good situation. James Good said incredibly offensive things, and at the time deserved to be sacked for them. And then other things came out about it that was saying, oh, wait, did Disney already know about them, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's a whole different separate thing. But no, he deserved to be sacked from. He said some terrible things, which he was apologetic for, and he's learned from it, and he's a different, changed, better person. And I think go and check out his latest movie, Suicide Squad. It's brilliant. Shameless plug. But yeah, like, you just learn from it. Just learn from it. That's all that matters, really, at the end of the day. But if you are lying about how old you were, then that kind of comes into question you legitimately when it comes to your apology a little bit for me. Fox, that's what you say.
Accountability, like I said before. You need to learn from, like what you've done. And if you can accept that this firing was, good for you, because to be honest with you, while you may be depressed because you're like, oh, but all the hard work that I've done while I've been there, to be actually a better person and whatnot, it's just like, well, you're kind of lucky then, because they could have fired you. They could have found out about it before and actually dug. If they actually did their due diligence and actually, dug into it, years before, you could have been fired young, or not as early, whatever the fuck. So you're kind of lucky that you got this far. Not really want to give you that much fucking credit, but at the same time, be happy that you are looking at it from a perspective of saying, I do want to become better, and that I am becoming better, and that from here on out, who knows, you may actually get hired to do on something else, and they will hire, and they could hire you for, not only for your work ethic, of how good of a worker you are, but because of how much of a better person you are. But that's on their own accord, and if they trust that, you have to take accountability for yourself of learning to be better after the fact.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, how to word what I'm thinking. Or it's just like I'm assuming most of us have done or said some stupid shit in our lives. We're all old enough at this point to have done that, and I'm sure we've all faced consequences of some kind or another for some of the stupid shit that we've said or done in the past, and we've all grown as people, and we've also all accepted those consequences, and yeah, that's it. Like, I don't really have a comment on how Respawn reached the decision that it did based on the information that it had. Like, I don't have a comment on that. That's Respawn's business. That's none of my business. And if they decided that firing Klein was the best move, as much as it might suck for Klein, especially if, he is genuine and he is genuinely learned and tried to become a better person, then that sucks for him. It does. But actions have consequences. And this is something I think a lot of people need to understand about the things that they say, and especially the things that they say on the internet, because the things that you say on the internet don't go away ever.
Nope.
And those things can have consequences.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those consequences can suck. The consequences for some of the stuff that I've said and done in the past have sucked for me personally, but I deserved them. And now I try to do better every single day.
It's almost like you shouldn't just post or, say the first thing that comes to your head just because of the fact that, like, maybe this is out of, striking out of some kind of emotion or some kind of heated thought that, like, I want to just pour all my will into as much as possible. Think twice. Don't post the first thing you fucking think that, that when you watch a video that, like, upsets you because you don't agree with it or whatever the fuck, or, whatever it may be. Because in all honesty, like you said, consequences. And then if you accept those consequences, then you need to be respectful of when they come down onto you.
Don't say racist or sexist things because you could get a reaction out of people.
Yep.
That's fucking stupid, because that tells me that you knew it was bad and you knew it was a bad idea, but you did it anyway. Which is kind of worse than saying racist or sexist things because you're racist and sexist, because you knew it was wrong, but you did it regardless. Anyway.
Agreed.
Some weird reason fireworks are going off over my place right now.
Yeah, there was a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, fireworks started going off at like midnight around mine. I was like, are we being bombed? And like, as the EU finally decided to stop bombing us, we just didn't know. They're just like, oh, it's just fireworks.
The only thing I can think of is that maybe someone's got married and they're throwing some fireworks around my area.
Well, if someone did get married and they're setting off fireworks around Moody, congratulations. I hope it is a long and prosperous marriage.
Shout out to Laura, Kate, Dan.
Shout outs, to Laura and Jane. Got married on a train.
Yeah, I
looked awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
Looked amazing.
Congratulations to them.
Loved it.
I'm so
it was so cute. Like,
Yeah.
I was reading what she was saying about it, where they were like, they got like special announcements on the tannoys and like on the boards and stuff, and
That's awesome.
yeah, like Laura really likes trains, so that's so cool that she could get married on one.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Should we move on? I put some stuff in to be like, yay, video games in the middle.
Video games.
Before
What's video games? I've forgotten about it with all the crap we've talked about. Bring us back to the light, Amy.
Bring us back to the light. Okay, well, I wrote this headline myself. Nintendo releases all of the indie games, because this is how I felt yesterday.
It is illegal to do this, Nintendo.
What did you do, Nintendo? What did you do? Okay, so there was a Nintendo Indie World presentation on Wednesday. It is Thursday. Well, technically, it's Friday. Ooh. There was an Indie World presentation on Wednesday, and I missed it. And I got lots of emails telling me all the games had come out, and I was like, wait, what's happening? Because I was busy, and yeah, I forgot about the Indie World presentation. So, all of the games that surprise launched alongside the Nintendo Indie Showcase: Boyfriend Dungeon, Garden Story, Axiom Verge 2, Necro Barista, The Final Pour, Islanders Console Edition, Slime Rancher Portable Edition, and Curious Expedition 2. Some of those are available on other platforms. Garden Story, Boyfriend Dungeon, Axiom Verge 2 are all available now on PC.
Those Curious Expedition 2, I believe, isn't it? Haven't you played that?
Yeah, that was out. That Curious Expedition 2 is a port, so it was already out on PC, because I played it in February.
One of the days. One of those 2 months. Which just was March.
It probably was not highlighted. How does time work?
Yeah.
Boyfriend Dungeon is available on Xbox. It's in Game Pass. Axiom Verge 2 is also available on PlayStation. They also announced some games that didn't come out yesterday.
Oh, so they didn't break the space-time continuum.
No, it wasn't like literally like every game in the presentation came out yesterday. Eastward's launching on September as a console exclusive. That's a cool RPG I played. Execs, so it must have been 2 years ago, because you couldn't go last year.
Game that I was looking at.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very fun. The bit I played was very fun, so I've been looking forward to it coming out. Terrace Effect Connected is launching on Switch in October. And then later this year on Switch, Tome, a photo adventure, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, 100 Days, and Loop Hero are all coming to Switch. Loop Hero is amazing. God,
Shovel Knight Pocket Edition, is that just like regular Shovel Knight, but like a little bit extra?
He's asking questions, Mooney, but I didn't actually watch the direct. No.
Oh no.
I wasn't instructing it.
I didn't even. I just saw Amy texting me saying these
Help.
games are coming out. They're out today.
Help me.
I didn't realize it was the Nintendo Direct yesterday or Indie Games Direct thingy at all. I had no idea. So I was just like, well. I was thinking,
It's that Twitter
yay
page, maybe.
games.
You purged too deep.
I did.
Well, if it would stop telling me to accept cookies and marketing and ads and all sorts, I'll be able to tell you. Okay, as part of Nintendo's we've treated to a new look at Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, a falling block-style puzzler with a dungeon-crawling twist. Pocket Dungeon was first announced Switch back in February 2020. Blah blah blah. Ah, yeah, so it's like Terrace, but Shovel Knight.
Very cool.
And with some dungeon crawling, I guess. Someone has DM'd me. It's 50-50 whether it's one of my friends or it's a dick pic. Also, next year, Far Changing Tides and Bomb Rush Cyberpunk are coming out on Nintendo Switch. I don't know what Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is, but that name alone has got me being like, yeah, I want to find out. I want to find out what Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is.
It might be the Cyberpunk game of your dreams, Amy, the one you were truly waiting for.
Well, a good one.
If it's Cyberpunk Bomberman, I'm all about it.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. You know what? We just took some time. We're in no rush. Oh, shit, it's better than that. Oh, no. I typed the name in wrong on the Google Doc. It's actually called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
Oh,
That's better.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
better. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk coming to Nintendo Switch this time. Exclusive. Hold on. Developer Team Reptile is bringing Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, the graffiti skating adventure heavily inspired by Sega's Jet Set Radio games to Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's amazing! I think I'm gonna probably try that game.
In Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk players will grind rails, paint, and avoid the law in an effort to become an all-city king. Players will recruit a crew of playable characters along the way, pulling off tricks to the beat of funky music. The game's soundtrack will feature new tunes from Hideki Naganuma, known for his work on Sega's Jet Set Radio, Sega Rally, and Yakuza franchises. Team Reptile, maker of Lethal League.
Sorry.
They also made Lethal League, which is cool. I'm playing the fuck out of this game.
Hell yeah. It's Retro Jet Set or
Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio. Yeah,
when I got my original Xbox, which I only got because Halo.
I never got to play the demo. I actually never played the full game.
So I got the Xbox, got Halo, obviously. But the Xbox itself came with Jet Set Radio Future, like whichever one was on the original Xbox, and literally like I played Halo a bit. And then I was like, okay, I played Halo a bit. Now I'm going to try this Jet Set Radio thing. And I put it in and I was like fucking addicted on Christmas Day. I was like, oh my God. Like, this game is amazing.
I remember the demo for... God, I'll never forget this. It was Halo... It was Halo 1 or Halo 2. But there was a demo for that. Then Fusion Frenzy. And
Fusion Frenzy. Wow. That's a blast from the past. That does, yeah. It does. I had Fusion Frenzy.
I'll never forget those demos because like everybody's like, yeah, you want to play a little derpy, fun party game? Let's play Fusion Frenzy. Hey, you want to play like a inline skater that's like kind of like Guitar Hero matching with the music and that kind of sort of thing? Play Jet Set. I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And that was during the time that I was actually getting really, really big into Guitar Hero at the time. Oh man, Guitar Hero.
Oh man, Guitar Hero indeed.
That era, that like I think everyone and their mother was playing Guitar Hero when that game came out because everyone I talked to was like, "Hey, have you beaten whatchamacallit hard yet? Through the fire and the flames or whatever the fuck." And I was like, "No."
No, I don't have. My fingers don't bend that way.
Yeah.
We used to play Guitar Hero 2 on PlayStation 2, and it used to literally just crank the difficulty right up, and it would be see who gets the furthest. In the song before it fails.
And not even guitars broken out of like anger. It was just guitars broken because of the buttons either broke or the little flicker would break.
Yeah, because it got pretty fast and furious.
So much flashback right now. Anyway, sorry.
Rock Band though. I used to love Rock Band.
I played the shit out of the drums on Rock Band. I broke some of those things. Yeah.
Keith was the drummer. Russ was the bassist. And my partner at the time would sing, and we did they'd come around to the flat because we used to live in Leeds, so like I only saw them a few times a year, but they'd come around to the flat and we'd literally clear all the sofas and stuff out of the way. I'd set up the band, like equipment everywhere, and then just play for ages. And I'll never forget Russ getting cocky on the bass, and then putting his difficulty up on the bass, and we were playing Run at the Hills by Iron Maiden, which famously has like a bass solo in it that goes mental just as he'd put the difficulty up. And I just remember we were all playing and he's doing his bass solo, and I just saw him, he was slowly falling to the ground trying to keep up with his bass solo. So we ever heard Run to the Hills, like the bass just
Man, can we go back to that era of gaming when there was just a hodgepodge of fucking everything? Co-op games, music games, first-person shooters, PvP. Like there was so much of everything during that time, and all of it was good. Well, most of it.
The only way that happens is if Activision is burnt to the ground.
Let's do it.
Everybody keep your eye out for a big blue box somewhere.
Yep.
Because I'm sure Rock Band is
bigger than the one she just saw.
Yeah, bigger than that. Because I figure like Rock Band is not a fixed point in time. But like when we eventually moved, like moving together and set a house up, like we have to find Rock Band.
No,
you have to find it, and we have to have it because that would be amazing.
Why are you hating on everything good, Moody?
I'm not. What's it for me?
You just shot down Amy's dreams right then and there. No Rock Band.
You can't stop me. That's the.
I'm not saying. Do you think I can stop it? You think I'm going to be able to stop it?
You know what?
He gets me to play.
It's okay because Amy, Sophia, and when I come over to visit, we're all going to be playing on fucking Rock Band.
Yeah.
Well, fool you for asking Sophia to play.
I
I
give
love
a
that
shit.
woman just arrange she can play.
Who cares? Like, who cares if you're
Put
good
it on
at it?
super
That's, as
easy.
long as you're having
I don't
fun,
give a shit.
that's the important
Yeah.
part. You can literally put it on no fail. Like, there's a no fail mode in Rock Band.
When you're literally feeling the music and you feel like you're actually playing this stuff, you're just like, yeah, I'm in this band. Like
It's fucking rocks, and then you get all the cosmetics
yeah.
unlocked for your little character on your screen. Weird,
I had
my
tattoos all over
yeah.
and all.
It was weird how my character, all the characters I ever created in Rock Band were all women. That was weird, but like you used to like play dress up with them just as much as like you would play the game. Anyway,
I like in Guitar Hero, I always picked the chick who had the mohawk. She was badass. I loved her.
I think I've still got Rock Band had this thing where you could do photo mode like with the bands and stuff, so you could like have them posed and stuff. I've got the photos somewhere. I'm gonna try and dig them out because you could upload them to a website, and I remember downloading them off that website once. I'll try and find them. They're fucking awesome.
Rock Band just never worked for me personally. I just never understood it.
Obsessed with it. It was just it was just a fun thing to do when you were drinking and with friends.
Oh yeah, I wasted too many hours with just friends. We're all just like partying at my place. Hey, guess what? You want to go play? You want to play some Blink-182, or you want to play some, like fucking Iron Maiden, or you want to play, a pop song? Like you want to play some Muse? Like fuck it, we're gonna drink and we're gonna play for hours. Too long, maybe.
Too long.
Actually.
It was always too long. It was always too long.
Yeah.
I remember once we had downstairs neighbors come upstairs to complain because of the foot pedal on the drum. So Keith kept banging on the floor. The downstairs neighbors came upstairs to be like, "Yo, why are you banging on the floor?" Then they came and joined us when we told them what we were doing.
They're like, "Oh, you play Rock Band? You got
Rock Band?
Come on, take this jar. Yeah.
We'll just cycle in and out. It's fine."
One of the best co-op gaming experiences ever.
Sorry, Moody.
Ever.
Don't have to apologize. Games. That's fun.
We're having a nostalgia trip. This is going to have to be its own. I'm going to write it in the show notes. This is going to have to be its own timestamp. What were you saying there, Foxes?
Guitar Hero. Rock Band.
Still no Hollow Knight though, Amy.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
No, I gave up on that months ago.
By the way,
They think
is
that's
it the
going to be next
game
year.
or expansion that they're doing right now?
It's a sequel. It was an expansion that blew up in scope.
Okay.
I played it like at EGX last time I was allowed to go. I played it. I had a lot of fun with it, and then there was a day where like lots of my friends were coming down. So like there was a day where I was like, I'm not going to plan on doing anything. I'm just going to hang out with them and do whatever they want to do. And my good friend Luna, bless her, she was like, I want to play Hollow Knight, because she streamed Hollow Knight. Like it was like it was like one of the games that like her channel like kind of became known for was Hollow Knight. And we stood in the queue, and this guy was playing it, and we just stood there waiting, and there was one switch. One switch with Hollow Knight on it.
Oh, great.
And there was like no like time limit on the demo, which was awesome. So then this guy was playing on it, and then it turns out he'd come with two friends who weren't queuing. So when he was finished with it, and he called his mate over, and his mate started playing it from the start, and then someone else, and then we just had to walk away. And I was like, wow, great, that was awesome. But like, then the game
has no one there keeping an eye on it.
There's like one guy for like all the, because you remember it's the indie, like the nindies section. So like there's like one guy for like all the fucking all those demo
still
stations.
dubbed an indie map, so they would have added it in the indie part. Unless it was like unless it was like in Xbox, Nintendo, or PlayStation section.
Like, me mad.
No, like if it had been in an Xbox section, they would have had fucking 20 fucking stations for it. Same with PlayStation. Like they're really good with stuff like that. But like with Nintendo, it was just like one little switch in a little demo station that you wouldn't even know was there unless you specifically knew Hollow Knight Silksong was playable at EGX. But she was saying to me not that long ago that like it was probably better for her than it was for me, because I got a taste and the game still isn't out.
Oh, bless.
I got that first hit, and now it's like I need more. Where's the rest? Team Cherry,
their latest expansion.
Where's the rest? I played Hollow Knight a long time ago.
Well, didn't they just like recently put out a brand new expansion? Like it was like a month or two ago or something like that. No. Oh, maybe I was watching somebody who's doing rerunning it, I guess, maybe. But I thought I saw new bosses.
There was something. No. Yeah, it was it. That was like 2018.
Oh, okay.
Hollow Knight Gods and Monsters.
Okay.
Which is just music. Now that I'm actually looking at it, it's just music. It's new music.
Yeah.
That's probably why it's so cheap. Let's move on. Nintendo profits decline year on year as Switch hits 89 million sold. This is from Sam Byford over at The Verge, who writes, Nintendo has released its earnings for the April-June quarter, and while the figures would normally be strong for what's usually a slow period, revenue and profit are both down compared to a year ago. That's perhaps not surprising, given the company was then riding a surge in demand for video games during the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic and had just released the mega hit Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing, oh yeah, look at Isabelle and me, but whoa. By comparison, Switch hardware sales were down 21.7% to 4.45 million units, and software sales decreased 10.2% to 45.29 million units. Nintendo has now sold 89.04 million Switch consoles in total. For comparison, the PS5 just hit 10 million. Revenue decreased to 9.9% to $2.94 billion, while operating profit was $1.09 billion, a 17.3% decline year on year. Unlike last year, when Nintendo sold more than 10 million copies of Animal Crossing to nearly double its figures from the previous quarter, there weren't any blockbuster Switch titles to bank on. New Pokemon Snap sold 2.07 million copies outside Japan, and Mario Golf Super Rush sold 1.34 million. Animal Crossing, meanwhile, added an extra 1.26 million copies to its total. It's now sold nearly 34 million copies worldwide. Like, before we talk about all the other stuff, holy shit, Animal Crossing was like no offense to anybody who loved it or any of the developers who worked on it. Animal Crossing was a very niche franchise before last March, and now it is legitimately.
It was the second or third tier level Nintendo game,
and now it's legitimately one of their biggest IPs.
My girlfriend, who literally never played an Animal Crossing game, was like, "I want to play this game." I was like, "All right, sweet."
Yeah, everyone's heard of it. Like, people who don't play fucking video games, like who I talk to, like, because I have to. Like, even they've heard of Animal Crossing at this point. Like, it's saturated. Like, it blew up. Partially because everybody was locked in the house. Pretty much from the week it came out in the UK. Like, it was the thing that got me through the lockdown. Like, the first one, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't have Animal Crossing, I don't know, things could have turned out far differently. But I had Animal Crossing. But at the same time, I was able to put a lot of time into Animal Crossing that I wouldn't have otherwise. So it was give and take.
Yeah.
Sorry, foxes.
No, you're good. Good on them. Like, genuinely, like, that's a lot.
Like, I don't know about the reporting slant of this article of being like, oh, profits are down year on year. It's like everyone's profits will be down year on year in the video game industry. There was a pandemic, and there's a shortage of computer chips.
Like, I'm also genuinely surprised that, like, there hasn't still been a little bit. Like, the fact that they're actually down. Just because not only have they been selling Switches like hotcakes, they're coming up with new versions of them that people are buying.
Well, the OLED's not out yet, so that's part of it. Sure. But no, because of how their quarterlies work, right? Like, how their quarterly earnings work is they compare it to the same period last year. So, like, April to June last year was the height of, like, everybody being locked in their houses and needing something to do and buying Nintendo Switches and buying games. Like, every publisher and console manufacturer and everybody basically who's doing quarterly earnings for like the April to June quarter, who'll be announcing around about now, will undoubtedly all be reporting like, oh, we're not making as much money as we did this quarter last year because people will have to go back to work and
everybody was ingesting this media more than they had in a really fucking long time.
Yeah, even me, like a Twitch streamer / YouTube content creator, was like, I was playing more games because the fuck else was I gonna do? I was stuck in my house. Like,
I actually completed a few of the games that I had in my backlog. I'm thankful for.
I started Bloodborne. A journey which has taken me on a wild ride since I started that. And I actually sunk enough time into Animal Crossing to like make a nice island. I really want to go back to that at some point, but I'm scared.
They've all gone. They've
That's
left
what I'm
the
saying.
island.
Because all the islanders will be like, "Oh my god, you abandoned us!" Like, because they all do the thing where they're like, "You haven't been here for like at this point like what, a year," and I'll just be like, "I feel bad. I feel bad because like," but at the same time, it's like I could just get back in now and play every few days. Like, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, no, like it's down, but I mean, Nintendo's still Nintendo, and there was one thing I wanted to do, because there's a question I want to ask. But do you have anything bad, Moody? Before I ask my question, then
No.
Wikipedia better fucking hurry up and load. So, Nintendo Switch, 89.04 million units sold. Next up, Wii, 101.63 million. PlayStation, 102.49 million. I'd say it's a given that Switch is going to outsell those, right?
Yeah.
11 million, 12 million, 13 million even. Next up after that, PlayStation 4, 116.4 million.
Yeah.
After that, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, 118.69 million. Not that much more than PlayStation 4. Then we get to the big jump. There's only 2 consoles left. Is this what I'm trying to hint at is the Switch going to be, by when all is said and done, for the Switch generation, however long it lasts, is it going to be the best selling console of all time? Nintendo DS, all of them combined, sold 154.02 million units. PlayStation 2 sold 155 million units.
So far, it's the best selling handheld console, right? Like it even beat.
No, the Game Boy and the Nintendo DS are ahead of it.
They don't I don't think they also don't consider that as a handheld in the stratosphere of these type of units. Things they put it down as a console, not a handheld, even though it can go into a handheld mode. But
yeah, the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2 sold around 155 million.
What's the number at for them?
89.04. And remember, there's a new version coming out in a month.
Yeah.
And everyone's insisting that the Switch Pro is a thing, so you never know, they might release another new version at some point as well.
I've been hearing that since literally the Switch was coming out.
I think we all have.
Me and Mooney literally just started taking the piss out of it whenever the rumors came out.
We really did, yeah. We really did, yeah. I'll change what I said last time. I can't fully remember, but I'm pretty sure I said I don't think they will. I think there's a chance.
Possible, right?
I think there's a chance because, like, I don't think Nintendo. I think Nintendo have found that right balance for themselves. I think they can corner each market of the industry, console and handheld mobile territory, with their console, and all they have to do is just update it basically. And that's, I think, what they're going to do is just update it, and continue to update it. So yeah, I can see it catching it. So
hell yeah, that was going to be my answer too.
I think it could easily catch Wii and the original PlayStation. You know,
yeah,
like
I think
those two are so close to each other. When it has to go over the hurdle of actually trying to topple PlayStation 4, and then like if we're not counting the DS and the Game Boys, like that's the biggest hurdle is getting above 155 million, which it's been the top for so long that it's like you have to really go at it. Like you have to put out so many, like, I mean, like you said, with chip shortage and everything like that, and then on top of that, you got to have your programs to actually buy your consoles for. Because I mean, sure, owning a console is great and all, but what you gonna do on it? But maybe I'm at a hard maybe. Like it's done really, really well for itself for only going on 4 years. So, like I think it's a good maybe. I think it could pass. I think my maybe will go as far as I think it could pass the PlayStation 4, but
Yeah.
that last big hurdle, you know.
Well, I think it's definitely going to pass the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for years. I'm at maybe as well. I know that's kind of boring. Like, you want someone to swing for the fences and go, it definitely will. But right now, let's see where we are at the end of the next financial year after the OLED comes out. Like, see how many people double dip on the OLED model.
Well, that's the thing about the first things that are going to dip. The first people are going to dip on the double dip is the small percentage of the gamers out there. Even though the gaming industry is a huge industry, it's still, when it comes to like the being entrenched with everything when it comes to gaming, it's the number is very relatively small compared to like just the general gaming audience, the quote unquote casuals, either way. Nothing against them.
Can we call them wholesome gamers? Is that a thing? Wholesome gamers.
I think that's fair. I think it's a better term for them. Yeah, so like, I think those ones are going to be the ones who snap up the OLED the first, and then eventually it'll start spreading out and everything. So it all really depends. Like, yeah, like it all depends on these wholesome gamers. Like, do they want to upgrade their Switch? If they're happy with what they got, like I'll say right now, I've got a Switch. I have no intention of upgrading right now. I'm happy with what I have. It'll still do the same thing with what the OLED's going to do. Just it'll have a different. The screen's not as good as the OLED. Oh, well, I can get over that because I'll be playing it on my monitor anyway. When it comes to playing my games, like the new Pokemon game that comes out later this year, I'll be doing it like that. So
Have they
it's Pokemon for months for you, isn't it? It's just gonna be like Pokemon end to end. You're gonna finish Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, and then on Legends is coming out.
Oh, I'll smash those games really fast. I'll tell you that right now.
Just Pokemon. That's all it's all about for like 2 months. Pokemon.
Yeah, like that'll probably be my true next big game that I'll stream is the Pokemon games. Like I'll be poised to be going back to like faffing on with Mass Effect and everything like that. But no, yeah. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to grabbing my Chimchar and just kicking ass with that little monkey.
Like no one ever was.
Then I'll get my Star Raptor, maybe my Gliscor. Trying to remember the other names.
Pokemon.
There's a lot of
them. Speaking of the future, back. The segues are back. Gamescom got a few announcements. Opening Night Live will premiere a 2-hour showcase, 7 p.m. UK time on August 25th. That's Jeff Keighley hosting his opening night thing, which was pretty good last year, I remember. It was okay. It was an okay show, but I think we were all a bit fatigued by 4 months of game reveals to really like sit down and appreciate it properly. But like that was where they announced a couple of cool games, like Humankind was announced there at the opening night live in Gamescom last year. So
even though we give like his game awards a lot of shit, and like we give a lot of shit on this show and everything like that, when we talk about it, the guy is an infectious dude, and he literally does come across as a genuine dude that he just wants games to be enjoyable for everybody, and that's fantastic. And if you've got someone who can come out and literally share the spotlight and throw the games out there, any different game, that's a fantastic thing to see.
I think I just saw the brilliant move that Nintendo is going to. It's like, okay, you thought we were selling consoles now. Wait till you see what we're doing on October 8th. Do you know what's releasing on October 8th? Metroid Dread. They will be like, you can get our brand new Switch with Metroid Dread. And all the Metroid fans will be like, I'm fucking sold! Later.
Yeah.
With the dock and the Joy-Cons on.
Yeah.
Worked on the Monster Hunter people, didn't it?
To be honest with you,
worked on the Animal Crossing people. Fucking hell. I nearly bought a new Switch.
Oh, yeah, that was a sexy Switch, though, I gotta say. Like, I can't wait. They're gonna do one for the Pokemon games, and I'm gonna be
undoubtedly.
Like, oh, good
if they don't do one in November for the remasters, they'll definitely do one in January.
For Arceus,
Arceus.
I don't think that's coming out in January.
I don't think a lot of things are coming out when they say they're coming.
Yeah.
Smooth
But
move.
Agree with you
you
there.
know, we've talked about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
opening night live.
God damn you, Horizon.
2 hour showcase, 7 p.m. UK, August 25th. Not actually the opening night of Gamescom, as it turns out. Sorry, Jeff, but Xbox Gamescom showcase coming August 24th, 6 p.m. UK time. Quote, an in-depth updates from previously announced games, both Xbox Game Studios and third party, and new titles coming to Game Pass. End quote.
The night we find out when the date is for Halo.
In the night, we'll find out when Halo's coming out.
It has to be.
Yes.
Don't
They're only
guess
waiting.
next year, you
They're
bastards.
only waiting for
Call of Duty,
That's it. That's all they're waiting for.
which is probably going to be next
Which
week.
is next
so,
week.
Yeah.
Please
At a state of
give
play.
us an
Um,
open beta for Halo PvP because you know everyone's waiting for it.
I'll still say
they'll
November for Halo.
they'll bring it out at the
end.
end of November because COD will
I
be
think so.
either the beginning of November, end of October. So they'll drop Halo later.
Yeah, and they don't want to put Halo on the same at the beginning of November when Horizon Zero. Is that
Horizon Zero, Mexico.
No,
It's,
yeah.
it's coming out.
Forza Horizon.
Forza Horizon
okay.
Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Forza Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West.
So you drive cars around Mexico while robot dinosaurs chase you.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy the shit out of that game. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll buy that for $1.
I don't think we're going to see any like the major announcements from Xbox Gamescom showcase are going to be what games are coming into Game Pass, and I think we'll get like one or two big sort of surprises that we didn't see coming, where we'll be watching it and they'll be like, "And this game is coming to Game Pass on launch day," where we'll go, "Holy shit, that's amazing!"
Yeah,
and I think we'll get
Blake.
and I think we might even get one which is like, "And it's available today," because that seems to be a thing right now.
It's a Hollow Knight. It's a Hollow Knight.
No, it's a Nintendo game, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I thought it was cross.
It's a Switch and PC game, so
No.
hence why every time there's a Nintendo Direct, it's like, please,
God,
Nintendo,
please, God.
please.
The next direct probably either going to be for the OLED or for the Pokemon
OLED,
game.
Metroid, Pokemon's.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm thinking this is going to be like a low key kind of thing. Like the biggest thing that'll come out of it is the Halo release date, and then
Yeah, it'll be the last thing they reveal probably as well.
and then a full on PvP beta. And then it'll be like I like if I had a prediction, I'd say I'm going to come out of it going, that was pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to the Game Pass games and also Halo because it's Halo.
I'll be genuinely surprised if they have some heavy hitters like outside of like Halo and like a few ones that we're excited about or whatnot, but like some actual like AAA heavy hitters that like you didn't expect this to be here. Boom,
It's possible. Like they have a lot of games in development.
They do, yeah.
At their own studios, and obviously you got third party stuff. So like Battlefield 2042 will probably pop up. Stuff like that.
You think Deathloop will probably show up again?
No, Deathloop. No, it's
Well,
still
that'll
it's a
be a
PlayStation timed exclusive.
That's right.
That'll be on August 19th when the state of play that hasn't been announced happens.
I was going to say it. I was pretty sure that hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, trust me, it's coming. We'll find out next
Yeah,
week.
they have to confirm that Horizon's not coming out this year.
Yeah, they have to
confirm
confirm it at some point that Horizon's not coming out. But they also have to talk
like
about the games for the rest of the year.
It's almost like it's infuriating to those who like to cover their shit to like know and schedule things ahead of time. So
The
that
thing
way they
is,
can
like-
take the time out to actually do it.
The thing is, like, yeah, but like with some companies, like Nintendo not included, like with some companies, it is kind of easy to figure out when they're gonna do stuff. Like I'm sitting here right now going on August 19th at the state of play that they haven't announced yet, and like I'm 90%. I'm Fat Mooney. I'm 92% sure. I'm 92% sure that there's gonna be a state of play next Thursday because I don't know. It's just at a certain point it just becomes instinctual. Like the pandemic messed everything up. Like messed everyone's internal sort of like we can figure out when stuff's gonna happen clock because no one could figure anything out. We couldn't even figure out if E3 was happening for like months.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say like what I said like when it came to at the end of E3 and we did the roundup thing. Like we saw some great games, but at the same time we saw developers who are being hit hard because of COVID, and their games will be delayed because of this. Like, for all we know, Fable might have been the end of next year or the beginning of the year before that. Before we know, that might be now the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024 now or whatever. Who knows? Because of the pandemic and everything.
But
We're just gonna have to be patient and everything. But there's been some great games
I was
out
gonna
there.
say we don't need to be patient because like there's fucking amazing games coming out every week. Like it feels like at this point, like there's so many good games and there's so many more good games to come in the rest of 2021. And like if 2022 happens the way we all think it's gonna happen,
Fucking hell. That is looking terrible. Sexy terrible, but that's just like, good God, no, what are you doing to us?
check back on this channel in January 2022 when we try to do our most anticipated games of 2022 and rip a hole in the universe with our hype.
Oh, God.
Because we sat down and worked out what games are supposed to be coming out in 2022, and oh my
God.
fucking God.
Yeah. And now we can add another one to it. Not two more to it. Because I don't think we added Hollow Knight.
We didn't add Hollow Knight, we didn't add Horizon.
So we can basically, we didn't have Horizon on it, and now I think it's safe to say we've probably got Hollow Knight going next year as well. And you're just like,
I'm gonna have a heart attack. Let's move on. Seeing what we've actually got left. I don't want to know that Telegraph story, I think, as I rightfully should. After a flood of hate ratings, Twitch responds to calls to do more for marginalized streamers. This is from Jody McGregor over at PC Gamer. He writes, as if Twitch chat wasn't bad enough already, in the last year or so, it's been rendered even worse by what's called hate raiding, which is when a streamer's chat is invaded by a group of users all spamming the same hateful messages. They might be call for gay people to be publicly executed or declare that a channel belongs to the KKK. That last one was directed at a streamer called Wreck-It Raven, who then asked for Twitch to provide better tools to combat hate raiding and other attacks on marginalized streamers with the hashtag TwitchDoBetter. In response, streamers who used the hashtag were targeted for another round of hate raids. Hashtag TwitchDoBetter repeated back at them, along with reams of insults or just the N-word repeated over and over. Quote, this is from Wreck-It Raven. I started it because in a week I got hate raided twice. Then I started talking about it, and more people that were in marginalized communities or in marginalized groups were saying, hey, this happened to me too. It's happened to us once. I'm unfortunately used to getting some form of hate. I'm a queer, femme-presenting person of colour. I'm a very easy target. But this was more than just the you're black, you're fat, you're gay stuff. These attacks were very pointed, end quote. Twitch takes half of what streamers earn from subscriptions and a similar amount from the tips fans donate. Some of the most popular streamers negotiate a better rate, but it's a select few. Yet the moderation tools it provides remain basic and not up to the task. Twitch's auto mod has 4 levels of filtering to choose from and supposedly adapts to catch deliberate misspellings, but can still be defeated by something as simple as inserting a single Cyrillic character in a slur. Quote, scroll down too far, sorry. Quote, the go-to response from people who don't agree with the movement is get a thick skin. I'm black, I've had a thick skin my whole life, but it doesn't mean that seeing really hateful things in a place or a community that you have built and fostered on being respectful doesn't mean that I don't internalize that, because I do. I think everybody does, because it's hard enough for marginalized people to exist in the real world anyway, so when we carve out, at least in my case, my little dark corner of the internet and people bring that to me, it's hurtful, end quote. Streamers like Raven are calling for prevention to be prioritized over response, suggesting ways to reduce the flood of bot accounts like enforcing two-factor authentication and allowing streamers to choose how long an account needs to be around before it can post in their chat. Quote, a lot of these accounts are created day of, so we as creators should be like, hey, I don't want anybody chatting if their account is younger than 7 days a week, right? 7 days or a week, right? End quote. Raven says there's probably no way to completely eradicate the problem, but it's still worth working to reduce how often it happens. Quote, unfortunately, we're not going to get rid of hate raids, but we can make it more of a pain to do that, end quote. Twitch responded to the hashtag with a thread thanking those who had shared their experiences and writing, quote, we were able to identify a vulnerability in our proactive filters and have rolled out an update to close this gap and better detect hate speech in chat. We'll keep updating this to address emerging issues. We're launching channel-level ban evasion detection and account verification improvements later this year. We're working hard to launch these tools as soon as possible, and we hope they will have a big impact. Our work is never done, and your input is essential as we try to build a safer Twitch. We'll be reaching out to community members to learn more about their experiences, end quote, though Raven has yet to receive a response personally. Raven describes himself as cautiously optimistic about this statement. Quote, I am happy that they've finally responded so we know that they're actually seeing what's going on. But we've been here before, right? And not much has changed. I mean, they came out with a new, clearer, defined TOS at the beginning of the year, and people are still not being held at that standard. So I am optimistic that they responded and that they are hearing everyone who is crying out like, hey, we're literally being abused on your platform. I don't know what's going to come of it. I really hope that they reach out to me and a couple of other marginalized creators, but I don't know if that's going to happen, end quote. Yeah, this happened to us. You were there, weren't you, Moody? The beginning of the year. It wasn't our channel, it was Elfie's channel. Someone got into the Discord and started spamming, let's just say sounds. And yeah, all credit to everybody who was there for shutting it down incredibly quickly. And then I ate an entire Twinkie in one go to bring the mood back up. But this is literally this. Yeah, like we've seen and heard this happening to us. It's horrific. It needs to stop. Twitch do better is the perfect hashtag, I think.
Do better, but will they do better?
Well,
that's the question.
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, like this has happened. This has been happening for years on their platform, and we know this. Like it's been reported on many occasions. I think we talked about it. An article that talked about the percentages of certain things, of words and everything that aren't and that are banned and aren't banned, and like half the ones that are banned it just made no sense, and some of them that aren't banned is like, why are you not banned?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, and it was just like, what the hell? And like Twitch, like you may be a great platform to play games, to stream games on, and chat with people and everything like that, but you do not hold people to account because of. It's just like the money, yeah, but it's also the same thing. Like when it comes to like Twitter and everything like that, people can hide their anonymity and everything. I'll just create a new account with a different email, and no one and they can't do anything about it. Just when it's vice versa, and it's just the same thing over and over again. It's like for me, they just need to just like for Twitter and social media in general, they all need to come up with a system that basically that will stop a person from creating a new email. And to go into the thing, they have to put in their details or certain things.
No, I disagree with that, and I do. I disagree with that. No, absolutely not. I don't have an ID. I don't have an official ID, Moody. So that would immediately preclude me from social media completely, and it doesn't work. It won't work, because if it worked, Facebook wouldn't be a cesspit of Mos Eisley, the website. So I disagree with that last part, but I agree with everything else you're saying. I think they actually need to sit down and think, because you talk about that, in Raven themselves, they talk about it in what they were talking about in the quotes here, where it's like Twitch is working on response, right? Like responding to something that's already happened after the fact, and what they need to start working on is prevention, and there's ways to do it. I'm not smart enough to figure out what those ways are. That's why I don't work for Twitch or Twitter. Facebook, whatever. Sorry, Fox, anything to add? Or Moody, actually, do you want to keep? Because sorry, I cut you off there.
Moody?
No.
Yeah. I've definitely seen it. You've seen it. Like we've all seen it. Just the hate rating, and you could say that it's like, oh, wish people would be better. Well, funny fucking thing that. I agree with you that there does need to be a preventative. Like Square One need to be a preventative, and sometimes adding details can be a good thing, but not always. Only because of the fact that whether it's one, it's a breach of your actual personal security. Two, there's also so many ways that people also can get a hold of that information in your details, and that's more personal information they can use against you. And three, the biggest problem is that people also have to be willing to want to help being preventative too. Like there's been all too many conversations about how you can ISP ban people. Well, that's one of the biggest reasons why kind of VPN kind of exists, so you can hide that kind of sort of shit. Granted, there are people smart enough who are able to get around it, but you don't have a lot of those people employed, to be honest with you. It's also another one of those things that like people have to come to the understanding that sometimes security for something is a little bit of also wanting to have your hand in it, and people often misinterpret that as like some sort of sacrifice. They're like, I'm sacrificing a part of me so that way I can have more security. It's like, what about the other aspect of wanting to be a part of this so you can keep you and you yourself and your others that you care about also safe? Meaning, yes, sometimes a little bit more details, but also other things of actually just wanting to be a part of it. So therefore, there has to be a little bit more intrusive things that are part of your life that will just ultimately help your security, nonetheless. But people don't want to see it that way ever. They're like, nope. If I have to put anything personally or anything actually a part of my own time into something that should just be benefited towards me for free and for just, without some sort of help, then yeah, that's how they need to do it. It's not always how it works, unfortunately. Security in and of itself just doesn't come from out of the thin blue air because someone was a genius enough to create the best program on the face of the planet that can identify just about anything. Well, there was a company that actually tried to do something a little bit similar, and it kind of fell out from underneath them.
i.e. YouTube.
They really, really actually did try at one point to try to have such a policed security system that it actually ultimately unfolded like below them, and was realizing, hey, it's going to target even a lot of things that we even consider like not all that detrimental, like someone deciding that they want to wear a crop top while doing a dance and not necessarily showing too much, but just because they decided to wear a crop top. And guess what? YouTube bot was just like, nope, security says that's a bad thing. You can't have it. Bam, done.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen what you can be on the receiving end of the YouTube bot firsthand. Like,
It's
you're
not an easy thing.
LGBTQ. Ha.
Yeah.
Bye. Not
Yep.
anymore, sucker. Not on our
Yep.
platform.
It unfortunately is not an easy thing, but
No.
it also takes a lot more hands than actually just the people that are also wanting to create it. It has to take the people who are willing to actually be a part of it.
Sure thing. Do you have anything more to add, Rudy?
No?
Then I offer you, gentlemen, a choice. Would you like to talk about a new game studio? Or would you like to talk about Sonic? Or more specifically, Knuckles?
I think we can talk about both of them. Like, I think we can get through the Sonic one really quickly and then still talk about the other one.
All right, we'll see how quickly we get through the Sonic one.
Idris Elba is a part of Sonic.
Elba!
That's amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Oh, that's it. That's the thesis.
That's awesome. Like when it's the knuckle pointing down and it's him on his Twitter, he's just like being a part of something big. It's just like, yeah, that's cool. All right, good on you.
I mean,
That's my take.
Idris Elba, yeah, he's an awesome actor. Like I said, I've
Mhm.
seen him in the Suicide Squad, and he was awesome in that. So I can't wait to see what he brings to this role and everything like that. We know it's just a voice and everything, but Knuckles is like a character I think everyone loves and everything, especially like how his history started and how it's all been brought together and everything. And I think people just like that no nonsense type of character with him, because that's what he's all about. Sonic's obviously very free flowing and all like that. He just goes with the flow type of thing, or as fast as he can, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And Knuckles is more serious, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
And obviously we know Tails is here in this movie, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
No, I've watched Sonic. Well, I say I've watched Sonic Boom. I've watched clips of that people have sent me of Sonic Boom, the cartoon series on Netflix, and it's pretty good. You know, it looks pretty good. I actually want to sit down and watch it at some point. But yeah, like I just find it weird, and I think I'm not the only one who finds it weird that Idris Elba is playing Knuckles in a Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
timeline is this?
Yeah, it's gonna be badass. Actually,
Stringer Bell is playing Knuckles in the Sonic movie. Who are they going to get for Tails? Ian McKellen. Like,
No, I think they've already got his voice, so because
Like-
he's in an end credit scene of the movies of the last movie, so you know he's already been voiced.
I'm a completely different person, but I'm now actually trying to like listen to Patrick Stewart
Patrick
say
Stewart
some Tails lines.
doing Tails.
Like, I'm just
wow, that would be pretty cool. Actually,
that
I'd
would
watch
honestly
That'd
probably
amazing.
be amazing. Like, let's be honest, like
Tails, but
yeah.
with Patrick Stewart energy.
Well, reciting Shakespeare or something like that.
Yeah, like reciting Shakespeare while Sonic's like flying through the chemical plant. And he's doing Hamlet.
Or not to be.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
all right.
The first film was a lot of fun. I
Never- I haven't watched it
didn't
yet,
expect
but-
it to be as fun. Yeah, it's got a lot of heart to it.
I've heard it's a lot better than it has any right to be.
Yes.
It's a video game
Facts.
movie. If it's good, then it's a lot better than it has any right to be.
That's true.
All right, fine, let's do both. Dr. Disrespect is starting his own game development studio. This is from Steven Messner over at PC Gamer, who writes, Guy Beam, also known as Dr. Disrespect, is looking to launch his own game development studio according to a job posting listed on his Champions Club website. It's a major, but in some ways unsurprising move for the streamer, considering he used to work at Call of Duty developer Activision as a level designer before deciding to spend his life wearing a wig and sunglasses. The unnamed studio, however, does have one surprising thing about it. It will make games by collaborating with different mega influencers. Right now, only a studio head position is listed, presumably as a first step toward outlining the project, but the job description does give some insights into how the studio will supposedly function. Quote, the studio plans to forge a partnership with a select list of mega influencers and then work closely with them to launch their dream gaming title. Those gaming titles will either be incubated and developed or partner/co-developed with existing indie game developers and launched as mega titles, end quote. A lot of games already make influencers a major part of their marketing strategy, so joining forces with influencers to design and promote games from pre-alpha to launch is perhaps the next natural step for those business arrangements. The application also mentions esports and monetization, which gives some major clues as to what types of games Beam is hoping to create. Free-to-play competitive shooters. Anyone? That's how the article ends. I am all in with the popcorn for this train wreck. And I have no hope that's going to be anything other than a train wreck. Number one, the games industry as it stands right now does not need someone starting a studio called Dr. Disrespect. Let's just be frank about that. But number two, he's going to partner with a list of mega influencers to create mega titles. Like, he thinks he's going to make AAA games.
Or quadruple A games.
No, that was just that one Microsoft game.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be perfect dark. Actually, now that I think
Two-time
about
winner games is what I'm hearing. No, what?
Yeah. Oh, don't.
This okay, I take my feelings for Dr. Disrespect completely aside because I'm not the biggest fan of the man whatsoever.
No.
Respect to how it was. Respect to him earning his money for how he plays games and everything, and being some quote unquote entertaining. I personally think he's a scumbag. But
do you think his
way.
studio is going to make a game about how to avoid getting arrested for filming in a public restroom?
Restroom Simulator coming in 2024. But going back to what I said, yeah, this scene for me, I'm just going to say this sounds very scary. You have a potential lethal combination here: lack of experience, the huge, massive egos, and unrealistic expectations. Not to mention a few controversials surrounding Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, it's just
And whoever, and you can only imagine the mega influencers he's going to try and get into.
The worst of the worst, right?
Yeah. So,
but here's
go on.
No, it's just like, I've watched some like high level because when he's talking about mega influencers, I imagine he's talking about like high level streamers, right? So like I've watched them like play games, assuming that they go down the dream game that they're making is like competitive games, right? MOBAs, first person shooters, stuff like that. Like the things that they talk about and when they're critiquing those games are things that matter to like 0.1% of people who play video games. Like, and I respect their opinion as somebody who plays video games a lot at a really high level, but like that's not how most people play video games. So like the things that they would put into a game, I don't know if that translates into people will want to play this. Like wholesome gamers, right? I don't, like will not want to play a game, will not want to play a mega influencer's dream game.
You know what the funniest thing about all of this is? He's not
Doctor
even
Disrespect himself.
Oh yeah, that
Just-
too. He's not even actually like a competitive, like, shooter gamer. Like he's actually kind of shitty. Like, am I? Like, look, I realize that I'm about to infuriate like so many of the Slick Club or whatever the fuck it is. I really don't give a shit. But when people watch him, they should understand that they're not watching him because they're watching a pro. They're watching someone who's stupid and playing stupidly. And sometimes, every once in a while, has some good moments and some shooters. I.e., a lot of other casual, regular, normal fucking people who play shooters who every once in a while, like, oh my god, did you see that play that I made? I knocked down like 2 or 3 people. Like, wow. How often do you do that? Oh, that was like my first time I've ever done it. Cool, good on you. That doesn't make you a pro player. That's for damn sure. It makes you made a good play. You did something pretty good that you were probably playing the game for like a good fucking long while to actually figure out how to do. I don't completely understand this because he's not a game developer. Like every once in a while, he has somewhat of an okay idea for a mechanic in a game or some type of like look towards it or something like that. Like, okay, sure, I'll give you a little bit of credit there, just a little bit. But you are definitely not you are definitely not one of the people who have been running games, creating them, and actually putting in effort and real hours of work of actually creating games and knowing how a lot of these mechanics either are supposed to work or maybe sometimes that they just don't work and there could be rolled back and changed, whatever. You are an entertainer, sir. That's all you are. No offense, and you're a shitty one at that too sometimes. I'm just sitting back with my Coca-Cola and my fucking popcorn with Amy, gonna watch all of this unfold because in all honesty, I can see it coming out and be like, your game's shit, Dr. Disrespect. He's like, I failed you guys. It's never going to be up to him in the fucking first place.
That's the thing, right? It's like he's not the studio head, so I'm confused
Yeah.
as his role.
Yeah.
In this altogether.
Maybe some artistic design. Maybe. But that's it.
Let's move on because we are running out of time.
Yep.
We'll get to that next week. Movie games out next week, providing Nintendo don't do another direct and screw us over yet again.
Road 96, PC and Switch. Hitchhike your way to freedom in this crazy procedural generated road trip.
You got it. Procedurally generated.
No roads. No one road is the same. Humankind. Humankind is a historical strategy game where you will rewrite the entire narrative of humankind. A convergence of culture, history, and values that allows you to create a civilization that is as unique as you are. How far will you push humankind? To the bleak of death if I was in charge of Activision Blizzard, but either way. Greek memories of Azu, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and the Switch. This is a beautiful single-player adventure that with hand-drawn animation. You will take the role of 3 siblings, Greek, Alba, and Rydell, to guide them through the lands of Azu, alternate controls between them, and use their unique abilities to escape from the Ulag invasion. Ambience, a minitude in power. PC, 19th century Paris, the city of love, lies, and revolution, where you are a woman of fashion trying to survive a political survive the political turmoil.
Sounds like my autobiography.
Datacast of unforgettable characters amass the wealth and respect you deserve. Engage in gossip that you can alter the course of history. You lead to the guillotine. Hell Architect PC is a game about building and managing your own hell. I live in the UK, mate. We're under a Tory government. I'm in my own hell.
That sounds like my autobiography.
You take on a role of a hell manager and are tasked with developing the underworld in a way that would make Lucifer himself fall off his chain. Well, if he's as good looking as the man is off the Lucifer TV show, then people won't mind that. He's a good looking man. I can't deny that. 12 minutes, PC, Xbox, and Game Pass. An interactive thriller about a man trapped in a time loop featuring James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. That's it. The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, PC and Xbox. Close your eyes, become a warrior. Feel your enemies' rasping breath. Foot shifts on swampy ground. The crack of steel on wooden shields. The Veil is an audio-based action adventure that sets out to breathe new life into the medieval combat and fantasy narrative. Fucking hell, there's a lot of games. Rims Racing, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. The first mobile simulator that combines the realistic racing challenge with engineering and mechanics. Ride the world's most powerful motorbikes and optimize their performance by swapping out parts and analyzing in the real time. Analyzing data in real time. Recompile. PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. This atmospheric Metrovania hacking adventure lets you take control of a sentient program struggling against deletion. In the swamping 3D world of a mainframe, Recompile features intense compact, tight 3D platforming, super-powered abilities, and an environmental logic-based hacking mechanic. Intriguing.
What is that?
It's like a
What?
It's like a mermaid lamp jar.
Oh, that's cute, actually.
Arita of Spirits, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, is a story-driven action-adventure game following Arita on her journey to unveil the mysteries of the spirit realm. Immerse yourself in a story filled with emotion and surprising turns. Last game. Wow, this is out this is out next week. Wow, I didn't know this one. Madden NFL 22. PC, PlayStation, Xbox. It's the same game as it was last year.
Oh, but I put a special thing in for you to read.
The story description blurb is an advert for pre-order bonus.
It's literally the whole thing. Pre-order and get all this stuff. And I was like, I'm not copy pasting that into my Google Doc.
Is there a campaign with this that I get to follow?
I don't think so.
Multiplayer? Is there nothing any a part of this game?
Like,
it's
no,
just all
pre-order
about
and get
pre-orders.
some coins or whatever. Fuck. Thanks, you. It's time for OpenCritic Head-to-Head. This is the game we play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. It doesn't matter, because 2 weeks ago we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Inside Mind. It got delayed. And last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Naraka Blade Point. We're still waiting on the reviews. So everything's the same. This week... It's good. It's good that we're over on time, because OpenCritic Head-to-Head can be dead quick. This week we're trying to guess the OpenCritic average of 12 minutes. One of my most anticipated games of the entire day.
One of mine.
Yeah. But do we let that anticipation cloud our judgment of how reviewers are going to treat this game? That's the question. And for me, the answer is yes. But Moody, what do you think 12 minutes is going to get on OpenCritic?
My answer is double to that, yes, as well. I'm going 92.
Double,
You
yes.
shut up! Fuck! Sorry.
Fuck you, motherfucker!
Wrong number. Okay, maybe I'm not going as high as everybody else. Foxes, what do you think 12 minutes is going to get on?
Well, it was
OpenCritic?
92.
It was 92.
Well, 93, mate.
93?
I've got a good word.
Or are you
I've got
going
a
at
good.
91?
That was actually 91 is gonna be my second one, but I don't know if I just like only 1 point lowball it. Fuck it, yeah, 91.
I mean, I already my number hasn't been taken, so I'm good.
Amy's like 79.
Close.
Because it's a small game and it
Add
ended.
10. It's one
That was
above.
close.
It's one higher than the top 7 games of 2021 on OpenCritic right now, which all
Me and
have
Foxes
88.
can't tie, but you and Foxes can tie.
I've got a plan
That's
for if
fine.
that ever happens, but I'll leave it until it actually
So if
happens.
it goes 90, we both tie.
Yeah, I've got a plan for
and
it, but we're
and I get fuck all. So
we're out of time. So let's get out of here. Foxes, what are you? Close us out on the podcast with some final thoughts.
Pressure to force change, and also accountability for your actions. Be prepared for consequences for your actions, if there are any. Be good people!
Well said. Say bye, everybody.
bye, everybody.